about monitoring of the interventions, let's say like that. Under intervention, we assume the projects, programs, strategies, action plans, and so on. Everything that actually designs social change. So on the interface panel, we do have some many options, and I'll show functionalities only of few of them for these purposes. So under intervention types, we can create templates for different approaches or different formats of developing and monitoring the interventions. For example, here we can create a theory of change template, which is usually declared through the impact, outcomes, outputs, and activities level of change or level of results. But also we can use this to create a specific template related to log framework, logic matrix framework, which is perhaps common in some specific areas. But also we can here create a totally specific template or results keychain that is specific for our organization or for our type of intervention. So we can create a undefined number of levels of results. This template could be specific only for our organization or only for something that we are doing, or we can use predefined theory of change results framework or log framework, which is two most common results framework in social design of social change or civil society sector. Under intervention types is created template, and under intervention plans, it's actually creating intervention from scratch or designing our own intervention. Under this panel, when we want to create a new intervention, we create a plain new intervention. Beside the name of the intervention, for example, create a specific code that we want to provide. If we have, for example, I don't know, fiscal code or something like that, we can create this code here. And under intervention type, we actually uploading our framework that we designed for this specific project or for these purposes. I actually took the template of the theory of change, and the theory of change will be in the background of this specific project that actually will try to show as a showcase for these purposes. We also can select the time frame of the project or intervention, which is start date and end date. For example, let's say like that it started in the January 1st, 2025, and the end date is, for example, in the December 31st of 2025. And also we can select the time frame of the measurements or time frame for the reporting. Let's be more precise. But this is only, let's say, highlighted orientation date, since under every indicator we will define the specific time frame or time interval for the reporting. Also, the template for the creation of the intervention provide us possibility to give some kind of project summary or intervention summary or something like that, which is probably a project snapshot. And also we can provide a specific visuals for this project or our intervention. This could be used interesting for example, when we have donors and we want to share with our donors our intervention where we are doing monitoring of the intervention, and we can provide a logo of donor or something like that. So in that case, we can use the visuals of our donors and directly share the monitoring panel with the donor if it's okay by the donor side. So in our project, this is our template. This is actually what we uploaded. And when we want to create our project or intervention or whatever it is, now we are actually doing the narrative text or creating the narrative side of the project that we are actually uploading or going to monitor. So this is copy-paste work. For example, under the impact from the right side, sorry. From the right side, we do have results framework chain, and here we will copy paste the project or intervention impact. After that, we will copy paste all the results level. And for this purpose of this demo session, I wouldn't do this copy paste work for every specific level, but I will show you the actually already imported product for demo sessions. So this is one of the projects that we actually implemented a few years ago, and indicators, the result chain, and so on is real, but only the achievements or targets or actuals on targets are for demo purposes, and they are not real life. And here we do have, for example, the formulation of the impact with a narrative from our product or project document. We also do have outcome formulation, we do have results formulation, and activities under this key chain for the outcome. The application do not have restrictions in terms how many outcomes, how many results, or how many activities we can have. And it's in definition of this specific application, we actually were very direct to the developers that we want undefinite number of possibilities for the outcomes, results, activities, or any other kind of level of results. So it's not predefined, so it's not preset to 2 or 3, for example, outcomes or specific number of outputs or activities. It's undefinite number of the level of results for every of these levels. So when we actually do the copy paste section of the work and import our application to the monitoring system, to the monitoring software, we actually want to define the key measures or key performance indicators for every of these level of results, which could be provided in the log frame or results framework, but sometimes they are not defined in the framework. If they are defined in the results framework, it's great, and it's much more easy to do the monitoring job and import the application in the software. They are not defined in the framework. If they are defined in the results framework, it's great, and it's much more easy to do the monitoring job and import the application in the software like this. So I actually clicked on one of the outcomes or one level of results, no matter which is, but for the purpose I will choose the outcome number 1. And when we are actually opening the menu for this outcome, we can define the qualitative indicator, we can define quantitative indicator, and we can define something that we call the cumulative indicator, but I will explain it a little bit later, since it's not a specific sort of indicator, it's actually one of the features of the application itself. So under defining the qualitative indicators, we can set these indicators as such as a milestone or progress markers. So when we are talking about milestone, it could be with specific level of achievement of some kind of milestone, achieved, not achieved. So we are talking about, let's say like that, some kind of checkboxes. And when we are talking about the progress markers, we can define specific steps under progress markers that we are achieved in some time frame or in some reporting period. And for the quantitative indicators, we will define also name, same as for the qualitative indicator. We will define the description of the indicator, which should be methodological operational definition of the specific variable or specific measurement that we want to measure. So in description, we'll explain actually all the specific terms related to this indicator, how to calculate it, what is in the calculation model or what is not in the calculation model, etc. So, for example, let's say name it indicator 1. Also, we can select for this indicator, we can select the beginning of the first measurement or which is date for the first report under this indicator. Let's say it to be, for example, January 21st. After that, we will select the specific measurement frequency or specific interval for the reporting under these indicators. We will select, for example, 3 months or quarterly reporting time frame. And when we are talking about this first measurement or first reporting period and period of time frame, actual reporting time frame, this is specifically for every indicator. So, for example, we can have on some indicator we can have annual reporting, on some indicator we could have that on a quarterly period, and on some indicator we could have that on a weekly or monthly basis, for example. So for every indicator it's specified, it's very specific, and it could be different for specific indicator, for every indicator. And after we are selecting the time frame or reporting time frame, we are actually providing information related to the key monitoring information, which are the baseline and the target value. So, for example, let's say like it's a 0 value, and for the target, let's say like that it's 100. And after that, we can select the format of the variable that you want to measure. For example, whole number. And now we actually created a specific indicator, quantitative indicator. And under this specific indicator, when we are actually open this indicator, we could add also the specific dimension for the indicator. Dimension would be actually the segregation of this indicator. For example, if it's number of participants, probably one of the segregation would be sex or male-female desegregation. Also, if it's, I don't know, CSOs or NGOs, it could be specific categorization of the NGOs. For example, NGOs that are dealing with the marginalized, NGOs that are dealing with economic or ecological topics, NGOs that are dealing with some other specific group, or actual advocacy or watchdog NGOs or something like that. So also this number of disaggregation is not predefined, it's not set up in the application, so we could have an unspecified number of dimensions under this application. Which is also important to note, it's when we are actually providing the disaggregation variables or subvariables, actually we should provide targets for every category under the disaggregation. So for example, we do have 100 participants, and we are setting the sex disaggregation. We could provide the targets for every of the category under the sex disaggregation. And this could be useful when we want to actually collect specific data on disaggregated variable and to use them in some other calculation, and have developed our indicator to the specific terms that are asked by the owner, for example. I will open up some of the indicators that actually are set up in the application already, and to explain a little bit other features of the application. So this is one of the indicators that was set for this project. It was implemented a few years ago, and we do have number of the indicators. We do have the description of the indicator, which would be methodological description. We do have set first report, the date of the first report, for example, and its interval. Madam, I think we do have someone waiting. And after we actually set these indicators, there were some kind of reporting points for this indicator. And when we are talking about the reporting, actually, this is the process of reporting under this indicator. So it's quite simple, quite intuitive for someone who is using this for the reporting purposes. But prior to the reporting, I will explain a little bit some other functionalities or features. So for every indicator, we could have set the key indicator team, or who are the key person related to this indicator or responsible for this indicator. We could then assign a measurer, which is someone who is reporting actually status for this indicator, someone who is providing information, what is happening under the indicator, what kind of information we do have, what kind of changes we are actually created in the previous time. This is the person who's actually providing information or data or verification and so on. We also do have a role of the verifier or someone who is actually verifying information provided by the measurer or someone who is actually approving the report or data for specific indicator. And we also do have some managerial role, which is monitor someone who is actually only need to be involved to see what's going on under this indicator. So need to know the status of the indicator, what are the actuals and so on, but it's not involved in the operation activities in the reporting process of this indicator. So these are three key roles, and which is also important for the application. When we actually assign a measurer for specific indicator, he only sees only that specific indicator or indicators that are on which this person is assigned as a measurer. And if someone is verified, he only sees the indicators which are in his control or who were assigned to him as a verifier. These persons do not see anything beyond these specific indicator or indicators that are assigned for them. That means if there are different persons who are involved in reporting on some specific indicator or some specific indicators, but it's not needed for them to see the whole results framework or result structure for the specific project, they will not see that. In this occasion, we can actually provide someone who is a measurer or a verifier to be out of our organization or someone who is not involved in the project and is actually contributing through some specific data related to specific indicators. So we can assign them as a measurer or verifier on specific indicator, and they will see only that specific data that are provided for them. They will not see the whole structure on some other information under the structure that you don't want them to see. Also monitor, if it's assigned to specific indicator, he will see only that indicator, or if he's assigned as a monitor and the intervention framework or whole results framework of the project, he will see on all the project. So it's a managerial role, or for example, for project leader or program leader or intervention leader, want to see what's going on and provide some kind of report, but it's not involved in the operations or reporting piece. After that, we also can see the measurement timeline, which is actually providing the information about the specific measurements or reports under these specific indicators. For every of these logs, we can see what's going on under this log, who provided the information, what is the status of this report, who provided, which date it was provided, what's new actual, and downloaded the verification document. Also, we do have feedback from the verifier who actually provided, approved the information for this indicator. Under indicator reports, we actually can download the specific reports for this indicator. For example, we can see the actuals at the moment where we want to be, which is how we are actually going related to our targets, what's going on in the indicator, and these reports can be downloaded in Excel format or Word format. The data will show the key specific indicators or key specific indicator, or it's a description of, also it can include measurements. It's actually the measurement here. I think it's visible now on the Excel sheet, and on the first sheet it's actually do have key information about the indicator, name of the indicator, report period, number of the project, description of the project, type of the indicator, and the specific level of results for this indicator, and baseline and target. And on sheet 2, we do have the key information related to this indicator. We do have baseline, we do have target, we do have actual, and if we did not achieve the actual, or if we are not still, if we need to achieve actual, and how much of the change we need to achieve our actual, since we actually overachieve this indicator, so we don't have anything to achieve under this indicator. And also we do have the information related to the process of the reporting, who reported, who verified the data, what were actuals for these data, and date when they were reported. Same data is actually provided in the report format, but it's only on the in one template. This is the reporting for the specific indicators. And when we are talking about Word, it's the same data, but it's on a Word template, so it's only suitable for people who want Excel or Word to work with something later with this data. It is open format, so it could be copied, pasted, or something that, for example, if you are using Excel template, it can provide specific formulas and do some other post calculation in this reporting, in this report. And also, when we are talking about the reporting, I will show the process of reporting for the person who is measurer and person who is verifier for this specific indicator. If we assign this indicator someone who need to provide a report or data for this indicator, this is the process that the person will actually do through this application. He or she or person who is reporting will do the new measurement, click on the new measurement, provide the total actual since this project started up to reporting period. For example, let's say that it's 45 now, and provide a description or summary for these indicators. This description should be provided with a narrative which is enough for the verifier to understand what's going on, what was happening in the previous reporting period, what is the description of the change that is actually reported, and it's advised to be as detailed as possible for two reasons. First is that person who is verifying these indicators can reconstruct the change, can understand the change, and have all the needed information for the adopting or approving this report. And the second reason is actually related to AI engine, which is actually creating the narrative report and description of the change for specific indicators. This AI engine will use from the description of through the reporting period, through the reporting form. Actually, from these summaries, AI engine will use description to explain what's going on a specific indicator. And after we provided the description, actually it's obliged, the application actually asked to provide a verification document, which could be in this case for any kind of the document, and we could provide specific document or for example zip file with a larger number of documents if we need to provide PDFs, words, or images, and etc. So if we do have different cluster of documents, we can provide it through the zip file. And we are creating a request for report now. So at the moment, me as a measurer, I'm creating the request for the report, and this data will not be shown in the application still. They will be shown in the application, so it's still 40 actual, it's sending 40 for this specific indicator, but I received a verification ask for verification through this application. So since I have been set as the measurer and as the reporter, and verifier for this specific indicator, so in theory it could be one person, but it's always advised to be two different persons. I actually received a request for the changes of specific indicators, and when I open the menu for the verifications, I see the number of the intervention, not name of the intervention, see who is actually provided the data or person who is reporting, name of the indicator, type of this indicator, and the data measurement. Also, if I do have here many indicators on the verification panel, I can filter them through the specific filters related for every of these columns. So I'm going to verification panel, and now I see specific data related to indicators and to this specific indicator. I see who reported, when reporting was created, what is the new actual, and what is the level of results related to these specific indicators. Also, I can see a summary or description that is related to this indicator and can download the verification files. I can see these, download these verification files, see if they are corresponding to the reported number, or may I reconstruct the number that's provided. And after, if everything's fine, I can provide a feedback for this report. So feedback could be negative. For example, if I decline this reporting process and I say that, okay, this is not enough, I need some other information or something like that, or I need verifying document which is related to this change, it's not enough at the moment, I can provide that through the text form, feedback form, and reject this reporting process. And nothing in the application wouldn't be changed. So this actually, in that case, would not be registered as accepted or approved number or actual for this indicator. So the measurer will receive the message that there are needed improve or changes in reporting form, and to provide, he or she will see this feedback or message and could act accordingly. But if it's everything fine, or accept the report, everything's fine, the verification documents corresponds to new actual, I understand what's going on, description is detailed enough, I can accept this measurement and say that is approved. And the application will accept these changes. Application actually will show the changes on specific indicators only if it's accepted. So the reporting would be visible in the report for these specific indicators after we accept the report through the verification process. If it's not accepted, this would not be changed. This will be changed. So this is the two functions that actually are showed: the reporting process and the verification process for this specific indicator. And beside that, I think also I would like to mention that we can download all documents from exchange through the verification process for the specific indicator. It could be useful for someone who is actually doing the archiving process in the organization, or who is actually assigned to archive all information related to reporting process for specific indicators. But it's actually would download zip file all data related to this indicator. But there's possibility related to similar function, similar feature related to archiving on a whole structure, which is more interesting for these purposes. And this graphic here also could be downloaded, saved as picture, and used in the reporting, for example, for our narrative report, something like that. Our developers at the moment are developing actually the GAN feature here that will be used as a download. That would make this graph downloadable in an Excel format, and could be used in Excel or Word, and could be manipulated with it. This is a reporting process under this specific indicator, and it's same for every other indicator. It's same also for the qualitative indicator, since we provide information about the qualitative change that we saw that occurred. Also, we provide verification documents and the same processing or verification or processing or feedback on the report is same, no matter what kind of indicator it is. The third option here is called cumulative indicator, which is actually a feature of the quantitative indicators. So one of the requests or one of the needs that we designed this application was related to vertical communication between different variables, or communication between variables from one results framework or one intervention structure, which is this here, and some other different result structure or intervention structure. For example, we want to measure total number, for example, of participants on organizational level. So we do have indicator relate on our organizational results framework or strategic plan framework, results framework, and which is named, for example, number of participants or number of beneficiaries perhaps better. better name of the indicator in this case. So this number of beneficiaries actually could be fed within similar or same named indicators through the different projects or different intervention on different intervention structures when we are talking about this monitoring process. For example, in 3 different projects, we do have a number of beneficiaries, and we want to see how much beneficiaries we do have on an organizational level, which is actually some of these 3 indicators. In that case, on organizational level or some other result structure, we will define the cumulative indicator, which will be fed through the links of these specific 3 indicators from 3 different results frameworks. For example, number of beneficiaries from project 1, project 2, and project 3 would be linked to the cumulative indicator, which is number of beneficiaries at organizational level. And when we are reporting through the project indicators or the beneficiaries, actually it would be feeding the indicator on a cumulative level or a cumulative indicator on a result on organizational level, for example. So it could be useful for beneficiaries or money, for example, or funds or any other indicator. If you are defining cumulative indicator, it's actually passive indicator. We do not report under that specific indicator. Actually, we are reporting under linked indicators, which are feeding this cumulative indicator. And when exchange occurred under these linked indicators, it's actually automatically feeding the cumulative indicator. It could be useful for example, for programs that do have specific components, but we do have indicators on a higher level of results, which are actually fed by the specific indicators and sub-components of the program, or different 1 project, 2 project, 3 project structure with the organizational level structure. We want to connect between them. On the results framework panel or on the project structure that we see here, I will explain the specific functionalities that we see at the moment. This is the active project for it, so it started. It's not in development phase. It started and it's in implementation phase. And we can define the specific roles for this project. We could define or assign the administrator, which is a person who is actually designing the results framework for this specific intervention or project or strategy or program, whatever it is. And also we can assign the monitor, which is the person who's actually needed to know information, needed to know what's going on under the project, but is not do not have operational functions, or it's not involved in the operation segments of the program. So this is the creator of the results framework. This is someone who is actually using the results framework for reporting purposes or monitoring or managing purposes. And beside the intervention team, we can also provide persons who are involved. For example, if we define persons who are in charge for specific indicators, that they will be also seen here in the intervention team, but they will see only the specific indicators. Sharing intervention related to sharing intervention of this specific intervention with some other intervention, and after the shared intervention, we could use quantitative indicators from this intervention in specific other definition intervention that was connected through the sharing gap. So if we want to use quantitative indicator, for example, for the beneficiaries from this project in the other project, we will actually share this project to that intervention, and after that link these 2 indicators. Intervention reports is actually one of the most important functions of this software, and this is the gamma functionality or feature that actually providing the reports about the progress of the project related to specific indicators defined under this project. I will turn on every of these options here, but actually we can select for which specific level of results we do want the report, or for all level of results. In this case, we also can select if we want, or deselect if we want the intervention description, include or not include the progress bar or progress in percentages, or include or not include the indicators. I will include all of these options. And we can create this static report in two options, Word and Excel. Data shown in the both of these outputs documents are same as an indicator level, but it's actually for someone more inconvenient to use Excel, and for someone it's more convenient to use Word. And when we are talking about project report or project progress report, sheet 1 or page 1 is related to key information about the project or intervention, if it's, for example, problem or strategy or something like that. And on a sheet 2 or other pages in Word, it's actually providing progress report or for this specific intervention that we are actually looking at the moment. So we do have level of results, we do have a name or form narrative of the results, we do have indicators related to this specific level of result, we do have progress bar or progress achievement of these indicators, and we also have the actuals or absolute values for the specific indicator. And this logic is actually same for every level of result, and it's going from the highest level of result up to the lowest level of result. For example, for the outcome 1, which is local communities award viewed grants and transparent and impact manner in accordance with relevant criteria for public code. We do have one of the indicators, number of grants awarded to these NGOs, and we see that we are actually achieved 100% of this indicator, or we actually overachieved it. So baseline was 0, the target was 18 grants provided to these NGOs, and we achieved 45. Actually, this is the demo intervention framework that me and Mary use for these demonstration purposes, and we see that through the reporting process, actually now we do have actual 45, which we saw how actually was achieved in previous reporting process, and also we do have information about deficit or how much of the change we need to achieve if we didn't achieve it already. For example, for the indicators, number of local communities that improve process of grant award for projects on youth manners. We do have that we are on the 75th percentage of achievement of this indicator. We do see that we do have baseline 0, target is 4, and the actual is 3, and we need to achieve one more local community to have the 100% of progress on this indicator. These data are provided, same data are actually provided and in Excel and in Word. All data are same. It's only up to the format that we want to use or want to make some calendar calculation through this report, post calculation through this report. But in that case, Excel could be useful. And if we want only to use it as a narrative report on copy paste it in narrative report, that we probably will use the Word output from this progress report. If you don't want to select all these, for example, we need a report only for specific results or specific activity, we can select that and prepare the report for this specific level of result. I clicked on the preview panel. We can see what's actually would be outputted in the moment for this specific indicator and for this specific level of results. And after that, we actually could download the specific report for this level of results. Also, one of the features of this software is actually, for example, measurement overview functionality, which actually is useful when we want to know what's upcoming in the reporting process and what actually we missed in the reporting process. So the application is set to send a notification message through email and through the notification in the application here for person who is in charge of measuring or reporting and to person who is in charge of verifying or who is verifier. So this notification is set 15 days prior to reported date for some specific indicator and 2 days prior to the report for specific indicator. So information is set to measurer, to verifier in two occasions through two channels, mail and the notification process, notification bar here in the application, and it's quite hard to not be informed about our duties related to the reporting process. And if we actually are upcoming some measurements on some reports, it will be shown in this upcoming panel. If we missed some of the measurements or reports, it would be shown in due measurements panel. We could do reporting if we actually missed the date, but it should be only shown here and it would be visible in the reporting log. Yes. Also, one of the features of this specific application is possibility of downloading all data or all documents submitted through the application, through the verification process, or through the reporting process. So if we do not have specific internal procedures related to the backup of the documents or something like that, everything is actually stored on the application, and if we want in time frame that we want or time interval that we want, we can download all data or all documents exchanged in the reporting through the reporting process. The application will prepare a zip file with the structure, name structure, which is same to the results structure in our product or intervention results framework. And when we open every of these subfolders, we will see subfolders with the name of the indicators, and under this subfolder we will find data for every specific indicator and documents that are exchanged through the reporting process for specific indicators. So it's not a bulk download with all documents in the same folder. It's actually reconstruction of the structure of the results for our products and follow this logic to provide a address where to find specific document for the specific indicator. And beside that, we can use a narrative report builder and AI engine report builder. When we are talking about narrative report builder, we can actually create narrative report directly in our board processor in the application, and also type text or chunks of text or whatever it is. But one of the features of the application actually use the information in this application to make easier for us to create this report. So we can use the images, for example, under this reporting process. We exchange some of the images through the verification panel and verification process, and this application actually will use images from this reporting process to create our palette or gallery, and from that gallery we can use specific image to import that in our report. And after that we can continue with our text, but also we can import specific, for example, we are talking in this report about the indicator number of local communities that award grants, and we want to show the table how it's going on in this indicator, to see what was the name of the indicator, what was the baseline, target, actual, and progress for this specific indicator. And we do not need to draw this table or create this table on our own. We can export that from the application using the reporting information, or actually report information acquired through the reporting process. It needs a few seconds, but it actually provide a table with all information related to this indicator. For example, number of communities, it's 0, it's 4, target actual is 42, and we actually do not have deficit on this indicator. But also we can create a total project structure if needed. For example, we want to create full project structure in this report or in this narrative report, and this would recreate actually the report structure that we saw in Word and Excel document previously. But we can insert that block in our narrative report if we want. We can save this narrative report, we can export it, and we can actually work on that in a specific other equipment, machine, or whatever it is, and we can import that again in the software and continue work here in cloud on it. And this is useful when we want to use the information that are stored in the monitoring process that are actually here in the software, but we will probably look for the images on some other folder or something like that. In this case, we can use that directly from here. And also one of the features, newly developed features for this specific application is actually related to AI generated reports. I will show that on a specific project where we do have narrative explanations. This is in local language project, but creation of the narrative report builder is same for every project. So I will open the report builder, AI engine report builder, select the specific date for which I want the project, date range, and also we can predefine, for example, menus here if you want. And we will create narrative report through the AI engine. In this case, it will actually follow the result structure of our interventions that is incorporated into this software. It also would use description provided through the reporting process for the specific indicators to actually provide information about the changes of specific indicators, to try to explain these changes and to provide narratives for every change that actually happen through the reporting process. Also, it will show specific tables or snapshots for the changes or indicators where change occurs. And this process actually could last up to a few minutes, but Mary already mentioned that this is actually quite time saver when we do have due date, for example, for the report, and we want to have that as soon as possible, and we don't have time to develop all the narrative for every indicator or for every results or for everything that was happening under the project, but we want to snapshot of this narrative report and use it a snapshot as a development document for the narrative that we want to add to this document. So it could be quite useful. It could be very interesting. It's about a few minutes for this report, and program or software on the application would provide a recapitulation or rephrase what was going on or what was reported through the reporting process for the time frame that they actually select. So it's not probably it's not report that we would send to the donors, but it's quite good baseline draft document that we would use to continue with developing the narratives. For example, for some formulation, you would change some specific, add some narratives or something like that, but for some narratives or for some paragraphs, you wouldn't change anything. So it could be quite useful and time saver for anyone who is using actually the application. While we are actually waiting to generate this narrative report, I will explain a little bit the user management panel or member management panel. So the application is actually divided into specific submenus. One is related to intervention administration. One is related to membership administration or administration of the members. In this panel here, we do have members who are actually part of our organization or actually are involved in the processes related to reporting in our organization. In this case, we do see two members, which are me and Mary, since we are actually involved in the demo sessions. But we can invite other members to our organization, which is through the invite a new one GUM. We will actually input the email of the person actually we want to invite. After we input the email, the message would be sent to this email, and for the person receiving this email, it would be the application would ask to create the profile, and to provide key information about the person, name, surname, and some specific contact information. And after that, we will see the profile of this person in the pending panel here. It would not be auto-added to our members of the organization, but it would be in the pending panel. And after we approve actually the membership of this person to our organization, it would be shown in this panel here. And after that person is actually part of our organization, we can assign specific roles to this person. It would be auto-assigned roles, it would not be, but we can actually assign to these persons who are added to our organization, we can assign that they are, for example, measurer or verifier or admins or monitors or something like that through the panel. Also, beside the measurer, monitor, or verifier roles, there are administrative roles in these under the software, which are related to administration process of the specific intervention or the whole organizational panel. We do have master admin for the manipulating for this of the members section, and adding administrator for specific interventions, which are administrators with a lower level of let's say like lower role, and these administrators are really assigned only to specific intervention. They can make changes in specific intervention. And beside that, I already mentioned the verifier, measurer, monitor, and so on. So we are still waiting to generate this report. While we are waiting actually for this report, do we have some questions? Merim, do you have something to add or something like that? I can show the already downloaded report if we do not have time.
It's okay to show downloaded file. Other one.
Okay. Do we have questions or no?
We have some. Katarina.
We do have Katarina.
Let's see.
Hello, everybody. Thanks for the comprehensive presentation. Our team is working in basically 3 countries. So I'm just wondering if the whole program and the application is okay with different languages being used, or is it only English, or is it by how people set up their own projects in these terms?
Okay. So, Katarina, thank you for the question. When we are talking about the language, I'll try to open this menu here to the international panel. When we are actually using the panel of this application, in the lower left corner, we do have possibility of selection of the language. For example, in this case, we do have English and we do have local language here. If you are select the local language, the menus would be translated to the local language. And if I select the English, it would be translated to English version. But when I open this specific intervention framework, all these data related to this intervention would be in the language in which they were inputted here, or copy paste, or uploaded to the application. So if it's in English, it would be in English, no matter which language you select here. But at this
point, the application has only Bosnian and English. So, for instance, because we would have a Ukrainian team working in Ukrainian.
Actually, the developing team is working on a specific language, which is importing specific languages. Natively, it was designed in English, and we actually asked them to input the local language, but we also could ask to input specific language that we need. This would be in a very short time frame. There would be languages that are most used, for example, or specific language that we need for someone who's using that language. So it's not so
Yes,
it's not hard to implement.
No, I mean,
yes,
for
it's
us,
in
it's
20,
English is
30
good,
days.
but yeah.
It's okay to have it in another language. In 20 or 30 days, we can translate it to any language on the world.
Okay, thanks.
Any other question? Aziz, if you have downloaded file
Yeah, I'll show that
on AI
already.
report, you can show us.
So this is the AI generated narrative report. I'll look at it, put it in to zoom it. So it's actually follow the structure of the project that was incorporated in this in the application. This is the selected time frame for the specific narrative report, AI generated narrative report. This is the formulation of results provided in local language. For example, its contribution to the Bosnia-Herzegovina would be more digital nomad friendly, for example, in Southeastern Europe. And this is the executive summary provided from the application description. We also do have specific indicators and progress. Then, if you do have milestone, it will provide status of these milestones. Are they achieved or in progress? In this case, all of them were in progress. And after that, we do have following indicators for specific low-level results. For example, I will find indicators which actually is increased number of the registered digital nomad, for example, in Bosnia, which is the number of this results framework result. And in this case, we did start on the 0, and we do have achievement of these results on 41.45%. And we do have a summary of the changes under these results. It's actually providing the narrative from the narrative description through the reporting process. After that, we do have quantitative recapitulation of the indicator, which is actually quantitative indicator in this case, number of the registered digital nomads. And we started with 0, we achieved, target was 5,000, we achieved 50, and we do still have to work a lot on this topic, for example, and actually progress is 1%, for example. So, and after that, we did it reported on the dimension actually called sex of the digital nomad, for example, and person who were reporting provided information about how many of them were males, how many of these registered nomads were females, and with which category actually categorized and something like that. And actually, these AI engine provided a narrative for the specific indicators about the changes occurred through the reporting process. And this is the same logic actually used for every level of results and for every indicators through the actually as shown in the results framework. It's describing the indicator, describing the changes under the indicator, and providing the comprehensive information from the specific reporting narrative provided through the reporting process. So we are talking, for example, here about the quantitative indicators, number of media appearances in P&H on topic related to legislation about digital nomads. We do have, in this case, one measurement recorded. We did actually had 0 starting point. Target was 100 media appearances. We achieved 10, and we are on 10% of achievement of these results. And here is narrative provided through the reporting process. What kind of media on which media we actually shown had appearances in this through this project, for example, and what was, for example, the topic of these appearances and so on. So it's quite important to provide a qualitative narrative information for the verifier to reconstruct the change under the indicator, but also for the AI engine to provide a report as good as possible report through this process of reporting. So it needs some time since it's quite informative to collect all this data and make the calculation, but it's actually preparing the narrative template on which we can work through the development of the narrative. Mary?
Okay,
Did
thank
I
you, Aziz.
forget anything?
It
What
was
else?
really great walkthrough. Is there any other questions, or we can end this first webinar, SpectoQ? We have some question, Katalin.
Yes.
Yes, thank you so much for the walkthrough. I was just wondering if the platform is subscription based or is just one-time payment.
It's Madam, would you continue on?
Okay, you can also.
Okay, so it's Katalin, thank you for the question. It's a subscription based. Subscription is on annual basis, and let's say like that packages or paydays are related to the number of the results framework that we want to monitor. For example, how many product program or something like that they want to monitor, and how many members in the organization we want to have or we want to involve. Let's say like that. So in on international level, we do have 3 packages which are related to which are defined by the number of results framework that we want to measure, monitor, and the number of the members through in our organization that we want to involve in the monitoring process. Mary, you can provide in the chat this if you want to explain the pricing, or you want to provide a SpectoQ website to see.
Yeah, thank you.
Katarina?
But you will get email with all information about packages after webinar. Is it okay, Katalin, or I hope
Yeah,
said.
it's okay. Don't worry.
Okay.
It's okay. Thank you.
Okay, we have another question from Katarina.
Yeah, one more concerning this specific aspect of the work that we have in in different countries across the world. What about data protection in the terms of the information given to the application as well?
So great question, actually. The software or the application developed in the Microsoft Azure platform. The servers are in EU located, so it's protected through the GDPR, but also when we create the account for the organization, then the organization actually is owner of all data or documents and everything exchanged through the platform. So, for example, administrator from the provider side, in this case from Perfectus, cannot actually see your documents, see information that are actually exchanged through the application. Only master admin of the organization can have actually access to all data. For example, for a different intervention under the same organization. But no one from the outside of the organization or who is not assigned as administrator or someone who is not enrolled in some kind of these roles that are actually defined is not allowed to in any way see your data or actually break through to your data. So not even the provider. For example, if Merin actually create master admin in your organization, only master admin in your organization could achieve access to these data. Merin could not be access these data.
Yes.
You will change the password. We will change the password, and after that is actually only available to the master admin of the organization.
Thanks.
SpectoQ is 100% compatible with GDPR, so all data are maximum sure in SpectoQ.
Yeah, and also there is recording of the data, for example, through the key, which is defined by the Microsoft Azure transcription of the data. So it's to breach, it's quite, you need to breach the Microsoft Azure platform in that case.
Yes. If we don't have any other question, thank you, Aziz. It was really great to listen to you. It's hard to explain all features of SpectoQ in 45 minutes, so we stayed here for an hour or more. Thank you all for your time. I will send you a discount code on your email where you get if you start your free trial until 15th of November. So if you have any other questions or you want a call one-on-one, you can reach to us and we will gladly do something like that for your team. Thank you for your time again, and I hope we will see again. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.
See ya.
Thanks, bye.
Stopírám.
Skončit snímání.